Hello, families. My name is Rebecca MacDougal, and I am a sixth grade social studies teacher for your child. I'd like to introduce myself and our curriculum tonight. So here we go. First of all, I've been teaching in Minnetonka since 1990. I got my first degree at St. Catherine's in elementary education and social sciences, and my master's in teacher leadership at the U, as well as a math specialist. And I've taught 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, 6th grade being my longest run. I teach world history and Minnesota history for your child. A couple of things for you to know about me. I love working with kids. Let's see if we can move this over here. I love working with kids. I drink way too much coffee, and I love to garden. All right, here's my family. We live in the district. This is my husband, Dave, my daughter, Lauren, and my son, James. They both attend Minnetonka High School right now. So when kids come into the classroom, they will know what we're doing by checking out our assignment board. I also post what's happening in Schoology, and I will also post this in Schoology. If we are meeting through Google Meets, the code is Rebecca MacDougal. Caps don't matter. It's just one complete word, whatever you say when you don't include periods and commas and such. Feel free, parents, to email me. And kids, the best way for you to get a hold of me is to message me through Schoology. All right, some expectations. We're going to get a lot of work done during class time. So there's less homework in social studies, but that's a trade-off for us working really hard while we're in class. You may have heard this before, but if assignments come in late, they will be given at most 50%. And we have a 2-week deadline that if assignments don't come in within that 2-week period, they become a 0. This is meant to really teach responsibility and timeliness. And if your child ends up getting a 50% on something, it might be a kind of a rude awakening, but it usually helps them learn in the future to not have a late assignment. All right, Schoology is where you're going to find a ton of information for me. Here I've circled the 3 main parts of Schoology that you should really become familiar with. The first being updates. I will include a daily update so kids know what we've done during the day. There's also a tab called Materials, and I have open right here an example of an agenda, and it tells you what our essential question is of the day. What needs to be Dropboxed or submitted is in blue. As you can see, some of these are the items. And then what we're going to do during the day. So at the beginning of class on this day, I'm going to make sure everyone knows that they'll sign into Google Meets, and that includes both kids at home and students in my classroom. We're going to go through some things together with both the Tonka and the Skipper groups. Then Tonka groups will have their list of things that they need to do, and Skippers will have their list of things that they need to do as well. The last thing I want to point out, and the star is right by it, the grade book. This is a really helpful tool. This is where I'm going to be including my your child's scores. And if things are missing, you can easily check the grade book as well. If it looks like something's missing, you can click right on the assignment and it's hyperlinked to the assignment. So it's a really easy process to get caught up again. All right. If your child is going to be absent, kids should be on time to class, but if they're going to be absent, you need to report it to the attendance line, and students need to watch the recording of the lesson that I will post in Schoology that we will have done through Google Meets. check Schoology for any information I might have about the day. Kids find that if you can do as much as possible, even if you're not feeling so great, it's better than having to make up a lot of work when you return. Of course, if you're really feeling sick, you should just rest and get better. All right. This is an example of what our schedule is going to look like this year. I've circled 99-minute blocks. That's a long period of time, so we will plan to get a substantial amount of work done during that time, but I will also make sure that kids have an opportunity to stand, stretch, move, and have a variety of different things to do during that time period. During Wednesdays, we will have a skinny schedule. That means that each of the hours are going to check in with their teachers, and they will meet for roughly 30 minutes. And we'll do a variety of things. Sometimes it's just making sure everyone is caught up with their work. Sometimes it's a short mini lesson, just an opportunity for all of us to be together. And then I can also request certain students to stick around and work with me one-on-one, which is really a nice thing to have as an option. All right, so once in school, this means at school and at home. Make sure to have all distractions away from where you're doing your learning. So that means put the phone away. Don't have other distractions in the room at all possible, like dogs. Sorry about the dogs. Make sure that you're doing your best to stay engaged and write down questions. So if you have any questions, you can ask me later. And fill in that planner so you know what you're doing. All right, what happens after streaming time is over? Once I have given you the go-ahead to log off, if you are at home doing your streaming lesson, do the assigned work right away during that time. Message me if you have any questions. Check for any missing work and do that missing work right away. All right, the curriculum that we are going to be learning. The ancient world is where we start out, and we use a text called History Alive. There's an online textbook called Teach TCI, and that is another option if you want to use your iPad to have the book read to you. I will be sending home a textbook so that you have a textbook at home as well. We'll talk about early humans, what makes a civilization, ancient Mesopotamia, ancient China, ancient Greece, and ancient Rome. We'll do a lot of really cool projects to make things seem more lifelike and engaging. Then we will shift to Minnesota history, and we will talk about the first people that have lived in Minnesota, the Ojibwe and the Dakota, and the shift of people as newcomers moved in, westward expansion. We'll spend plenty of time with the Civil War, the War of 1862, and then we'll get through the World War and Cold War as well. All right, I think that's a pretty quick summary of what we've got this year. I really want to welcome you to MME. Let you know that I think you'll be in really great hands. The staff here is wonderful. We love teaching. We have great leadership with Mr. Dimmitt and Mrs. Nordstog. And please feel free to reach out if you ever have any questions. Thank you.